Today we're going to go through the reconciliation tool for groups and laboratories within the ChemTracker solution as part of BioRaft. Let's dive in. Now I'm logged in as a group or laboratory member here, and this is someone with ChemTracker access. So when I open my group or laboratory menu here, it's going to say the name of that laboratory or group that you're in on the left side of the screen here. You'll see ChemTracker. We're going to go ahead and click that, and this is how we can get to our reconciliation tool. Now first we'll see our chemical inventory here, so I can view my current inventory. Today we're going to focus on our reconciliation tool. Now if you don't see reconciliation or ChemTracker as an option here after logging in, please check with your supervisor, principal investigator, or team leader for assistance in getting that access. Your safety and compliance team, central inventory staff, or environmental health and safety team, EHS, may also be able to assist if you don't have that access and are expecting to see it here. Now this first screen here is going to show any reconciliations that have been done for your laboratory or group before. This includes ones that may have been done by other folks even outside of your laboratory or group that list that area here. So it may be some that have already been done before you've seen this before. You can see any that are finalized or in progress. If any of these are in progress, you do have the option to go back and view or edit that. Let's go ahead and start a new reconciliation. Now this is an inventory audit, right? A yearly or biannual check of your inventory. The goal of reconciliation is to update your inventory, refresh the data, and make sure that what is online in your instance of ChemTracker matches what's there in real life in their room or laboratory. This is designed to be done room by room. We're going to go ahead and do this for building 232, room 203. I can see that there's 22 containers in that room here. Now I'm doing this on a computer, a laptop computer. You can also do reconciliation on mobile devices, iPads, Surface tablets, Amazon Fire tablets, even potentially like a large cell phone, for example. If I wanted to, I could get more specific about a specific bench or shelf area here. And then I have two options. I can use container IDs. So this is if you have individual barcodes or RFID tags that are attached to the containers and the bottles upon receipt. This might be either by your group or by a central inventory team. If I don't have those, I can select the checklist option. I'm going to show the container ID version here during our training video. If you don't have the barcodes or RFID tags, it's going to be a little bit shorter, and you'll be able to use the checklist option, which we're going to see here. So let's go ahead and dive into that. Now when I first load this, it's going to show me the parameters that I'd selected for this reconciliation right on that previous page. If these are incorrect, you'll want to abandon the reconciliation now and just start a new one. So again, right, we see these steps loaded up. If you are not using barcodes or RFID tags, you'll only see 4 steps instead of 7 because there's less data that you're able to pull in here. But the feature is still right. You can still mark off what you find and remove anything that you don't locate during that inventory audit here. Now, if we are using barcodes or RFID tags, if I scroll down, I'm going to see where I can scan these containers in. So you'll be able to connect your scanner to your device here, and it'll work essentially like a keyboard. Now, I don't have a scanner for this site here. It would function the same way, right, as if these barcode numbers were typed in here. So anything that you scan or type in here, when I click submit, it's going to select that those containers were found. So again, you can also use this checklist option to indicate anything that you find here in the laboratory. Right, so I can either check it off if I find it, or when I scan it, it'll do that check off process for me. If you wanted to do this as like a quick process where as soon as you scan a container, it then gives immediate feedback, you have that as an option. Now I can also do examples besides the simple case if you found something that was expected to be there. But there's other scenarios, right? You could find a container that was maybe in a different room, so that'll show up in step 5. If you scan a container that had previously been marked as deleted, you'll have the option to undelete it or reactivate that in step 4. Step 3 is where we'll have the option to remove or delete any inventory we don't find. The key process to know about is that any container ID that I scan in the box here is going to be saved throughout the process. I'm going to pull up a few examples to load in here so that we can see how those other steps work. So I pre-selected some containers that had previously been deleted or owned by another group, so you can see how that behaves within the reconciliation tool. So I'm going to scan those in here. This is telling me that some of the containers I'd selected, right, are not the simple case of something that I'd found. I can open up this option here to see that data from the pop-up. I can even download that data as an Excel or spreadsheet type format here. So not viewable with your access level. If you scan a container that belongs to another laboratory or group, you may not be able to have access to it, and you'll have the option to download these at the end. You can contact your central inventory team or safety and compliance team to assist with getting those in the right place. Currently marked as deleted, so anything you scanned, right, that had previously been deleted in the system, maybe it was a chemical that had been misplaced that you found during your audit. So good work. And this is where you'll have the option to undelete it during this process. Listed in other location, that's something that was maybe in a different room or space than was listed online here. You'll have the option to move those. So we'll select a few more of these and then move on to the next step. So when I click next at the bottom of the screen here, I'm now on step 3, removing containers not found. Now on step 2 and 3, if I need to step away for lunch and come back to this process, I just want to refresh the screen before I move on. We can see, right, we're on step 3. This is going to highlight any containers, right, that were listed in this room that I didn't scan or check off. This is where they'd show up. Because if I don't find it in my audit process here, there's a good chance that container is empty. And if it wasn't, someone else will find it here. So maybe I want to keep maybe a few of these here, but the others I'm going to go ahead and remove. And then I'll go on to step 4. So step 4, reactivate, remove containers, right? Any containers I scan that were previously marked as deleted, this is where I have the option to delete them. Or, undelete them or reactivate. So step 3, this previous step here, this is when I did my deleting process. And step 4 is the opposite. So they're designed to be complementary here. So anything that I scan that was previously marked as deleted, I'll probably want to undelete all of those. Or if I scanned it, then it just means someone had deleted something they weren't supposed to. You'll note with these boxes, you can scan. Some browsers will hide that scroll bar, but you do have the option to scan to the right to see more information about that container. Step 5, this is our last real step here. This is where any containers I'd scanned that were listed in a different room, I have the option to move them. This could include if I had reactivated a container that was previously in a different room. I'm going to go ahead and move these into the room I'd selected during those initial parameters. If I'd selected a bench or shelf, that would also be assigned to these containers on scanning. The note specific location node is not. That's used only for the searching, but bench and shelf would also be applied. Again, I have the option if I want to scroll to see more information about those containers. I'm going to move all 4 of these containers and go on to the next step. Now, none of these changes are live until I finalize. This process is designed that you can put it down, come back to it. I can download this data if I wanted to see, right, what changes I was going to set up here. I feel confident about what changes we want to make here, so we're going to go ahead and click Finalize, and it's going to queue those changes up. Now, if you did a large amount of data here, it could take about half an hour for that data to get through the queue and be completed. But for a small one like this, it should be done pretty quick here. We'll then get a report back. I can see my % accuracy, any other data, right, about the reconciliation event, and I can come back to this anytime. Down here, I'll see any containers that I'd scanned that I don't have access to or aren't in ChemTracker. And that is going to show up here. These are ones you might want to contact your safety and compliance team for assistance with. And that's how you complete a reconciliation in BioRaft. Try to keep it really simple and easy to do. And then I can go back to the ChemTracker menu on the left side here. I can see, right, any of those containers that I'd updated. Anything I'd marked as found. I'm going to see that date last confirmed will be updated for those containers. So here's one I'd updated recently, for example. And I can see that reconciliation history anytime here by going to that reconciliation menu under ChemTracker. And that is the reconciliation tool for laboratory and group members. This will be accessible if you have that Manage Group ChemTracker permission within the group. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to folks at your institution. And thank you so much.